list.
Yeah, he giggled because he's like, that's
speaking-
the worst
right?
thing you could
That's
probably
literally
show.
probably the worst card you could have flipped over there. Speaking of set 1 cards that like disappeared
Yeah.
and celebrated again, grab your sword.
BP Bronson said, oh, you didn't see anything anyway.
Yep, just so you know. But no, it's fun to see here. So looking at the records here, Alex Hansen sitting at a 6-2. I don't know if 6-2 will be able to bubble in. It's possible, but 6-1-1 over there, BB Bronson's side, surely a shot at making it in. So BB Bronson, I think with a win, has a really good chance of making day 2. Alex Hansen maybe or maybe not. So fun dynamic here in round 9 that we're getting ready to see. And it will be steel across the board here. A lot of steel out there today.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's funny because it is generally people like, oh, steel. And I always think, I mean, a lot of decks like to pair perhaps a steel with a ruby. Which would you prefer? And it's good because removal is important in this game. So I try not to be too doom and gloom when there's too many steel, because then you'll look at another tournament and you're like, a lot of ruby in this room today. So it feels like it just, the variance of it all. Like we said, it's a very open meta. So yeah, but today everything's coming up steel, and we will see who has the best songs, who is going to go faster. And I see a merfolk there, which makes me excited because we have not seen a lot of merfolk in these disc. Oh no, maybe it was just morph. They're both pink, so it's very difficult.
Well, we'll see. I can't see the whole hand, so maybe you saw it. We do have the Diablo coming down. Speaking of seeing hand, oh my goodness, it is Pete, repeat, and three-peat there in Alex Hansen's hand.
Yeah.
This is steel songy, but oh goodness gracious. You love to have those Petes later on. You don't want 3 of them in your hand right off the bat, I don't think.
Yeah, one of them looks like ink to me.
Yep, for sure. Drawing a Rapunzel there off the top. Everybody running these beautiful challenge prize wall Cinderellas out there. So Rhino coming down is sending that Diablo's strength there to 0 or -1.
Yes, now he owes him a strength.
0. So back over to BB Bronson for his turn. Oh, we're having fun here in round 9. So we saw the hand before. Perhaps as the only turn 2 player, we're going to take a look again, see if we found a song off the top deck. We did not. So Ursula just taking a peek. We're going to remind ourselves there's a gang of Petes in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it makes sense because, I mean, we saw ink, but this deck generally runs a critical amount, especially if there's an aerial. They're going to run some kind of critical mass of songs. I think generally like 18, 20. I've seen one with 50%, which had Mulan in it. But so, you're probably going to see a song, but he didn't. But still, information is information. We still see that Rapunzel, which is very, very important information.
That is true. Now, we're going to play it around it anyway, usually, but now we know we have to play around it. So one of those Petes go into the inkwell, and Vanessa coming out there. Ursula Vanessa, 4-cost singer.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because we haven't seen the discard party fire off, and that's something that I think is notable because Diablo is a 1-drop. Now the Cove and the Diablo, it makes me think there's gotta be a ship Diablo. But that, like we mentioned, these decks, you can't make any true assumptions until you see the whole game. And even then, sometimes they're like, you didn't see this card I have in here. And there we go. He's inking a card. This one's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm still here going into the inkwell. This is a card that popped up mid-challenge season. Luke, I think, ran this card. So did Aaron Rubin. Zan Syed popped this into their deck. So became all the rage for a little while. It is a song. Speaking of songs, Ursula Deceiver of All on the board now, a card that you hate to see sitting across from you. Getting a song played on you once is bad. Getting a song played on you twice is extra bad. One of those must-answer cards that you don't want sitting around. But one of the answers for that card is a Pete. BB Bronson wants to sing with it. So
Yes.
do you think Alex has any in hand?
Yeah, I mean, he had a preponderance of Petes. And we also see something that he's pretty valuable. And it's an enchanted, so it's invaluable, but it is an Along Came Zeus. So we're starting to see a couple answers. So Pete, I'd probably want to save that because, that is a very, very powerful card to use later in the game. So he is making the same decision that I am right now is, okay, I don't know. I haven't gotten a song yet. So do I use it now or will Ursula come and take it? Because there could be another Ursula Deceiver.
So it is Pete into the inkwell, followed by a spectacular singer.
Yeah.
Going to look at the top 4 cards, try to find a song. There
Okay.
is a song there. A little bit of information for us. We see the whole new world being run.
I thought I saw swords too. I was like, you're both bad lads with swords.
If this
But-
is swords on swords,
Yeah.
I'd be.
But it is. I mean, it's a fun little. These meta cards are fun. But he pulls an inkable card, which is a smart call, but scary because then he's going to send back that whole new world and not see it probably for the rest of the game. And yeah, just go ahead and bet on making this work here and singing.
Yeah, you don't need the Pete if you can banish that Ursula.
Yeah.
So Vanessa there singing, as she loves to do with Ariel's voice, I might add. And then Strength of a Raging Fire onto that Ursula Deceiver of All.
Yeah, it's crazy. You wouldn't know looking at the board, but at that time there were 3 Ursulas on the board, but one of them was a little disguised. But that Ursula Vanessa, she is a card that pairs quite well with Rapunzel. She's very good at carrying damage. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of places to get damage on the other side of the board. But one of my favorite plays is when people say, I will sing onto myself and take my damage, and then Rapunzel comes down. I think that's so cheeky, but it gets you 3 cards, especially with the Storm Rage on.
That's true. It's a great heads up play. I've seen it before. I like that you highlighted it because that'd be fun to see it here.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I'll do it myself because I mean a lot of times they won't let you do the Rapunzel trap, and in this case you're like, well, I can work. And here we see one Rapunzel trap down. So he says I've seen that move before, but notably Ariel can also carry 2 damage. So it's not over yet. It could happen.
Let's see. It's back over to Alex's side here. He's got some options. We have another Ursula, which is going to go into the Inkwell. A lot of couple 4-cost cards here available. So we will send that Singer into the Diablo. You pointed it out. Now Diablo with that Cove dealing 2 damage. The
Yeah,
Rapunzel healing it.
the Cove actually worked to his benefit in this case because it's not the shifted Diablo; it is just a little one. So actually worked out perfectly. And those Rapunzel traps, they're everywhere. And here she is with her beautiful, like you mentioned, the prize wall Rapunzel, where everybody says, "I can't stop playing until I get that Rapunzel."
Yeah, it's beautiful. Fantastic art by Vietnamese artist Grace Tron. I believe she was the only Vietnamese artist in the game for a while. I think there is one more now, but fantastic person. And yeah,
Yeah,
love that.
and shout out to I love that Shane Hartley is always looking out and saying like, where can we get more artists? And I love that it's this community global. Julia Riva meeting her from Italy was joyful, and now I think she's actually on the
She is an art director
yeah
now
she's an art
for
director
Disney
now, and so
Arcana. Yeah.
it's wonderful. I love the artist community. But things that people don't love is Pete against a song deck. So now we're on to things that are a little doom and gloom here because we did get another whole new world, which probably feels pretty good because it's when you play that card because it's a fresh start, but he has options in his hand, so he's not probably so desperate to use it quite yet, and even has another Ariel to go fishing for more songs.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me, the decision of when to play a whole new world when you're playing the Sonics obviously is critical.
It's
There's a lot that comes into play. Not only you're trying to figure out when you want to recharge your own hand, when you have enough resources to be able to use things that you draw immediately, like the Singer's on board, but you're also thinking about what your opponent has managed to curate in their hand. Oh, and we're gonna shift. So what we're setting up here, too, what these Steel Song decks do, and what they've always done, is do a ton of different inks worth of things, like multiply their ink by 5 or 4 or 5 by having powerful singers on the board. What you want to do is play that whole new world and then immediately be able to use the removal that you draw,
Mhm.
some of those 18 songs, to answer your opponent's board. And now Alex has set up, with that Pete and not allowing BB Bronson to sing, he set up a bunch of cards that can sing removal. So it feels like if you're going to use a whole new world, you've kind of set up the board to do it. But as I was saying before, the other interesting thing is you have to take a look at your opponent's hand, what they've managed, like the hand size, if you're actually going to refuel them. But also, at this point in the game, sometimes they've managed to curate their hand through drawing, through discarding, through their altar in the beginning of the game. And so sometimes you can disrupt game plans by forcing them to discard. But it does feel bad when your opponent's sitting on 2 cards, giving them a whole new hand. So let's
Yeah.
see.
Now, I don't know if you noticed there was a little giggle between them as he inked that Find'em Platinum because I know a lot of people after yesterday said, I think items are kind of scary, and they put that in, but in some matches up, it's simply ink. So I love seeing that one just go to the inkwell and they both giggle, but they're not giggling anymore because now we're seeing those songs fire off here. And like you mentioned, it is one of the harder decisions in the game of knowing when to wheel and when not to wheel, which is why I personally don't like playing it. It's a very stressful. It's stressful to make it. This is round 9. He's been making that decision over and over again all day.
But plenty of removal available with challenging, and then with that song to deal with the biggest threats,
Yes.
and then that Zeus coming down, banishing that Pete. So at this point, if you can deal with your opponent's board and maintain the strong board state, do
This
not
is
give your opponent more cards.
yeah.
Oh, but there it is. There is the whole
That's
new world
confidence
being
though.
ripped by the aerial.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it's also I mean, in a lot of ways, it's confident because I mean, at the end of the day, they say like when you have a wheel, sometimes you just do it as early as possible because then if there is anything that's going to happen over there, I mean, now look at this board versus a man who's basically starting from scratch. But scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Using all of his characters there to banish most of the cards on BB Bronson's board, leaving up that lone Ursula, which has just had her strength reduced by that 1/16th wolf. And yeah, I mean, you've given BB Bronson a whole handful of cards over there, but Unfortunately, like not a lot of resources over there
Yes.
yet. Only 4 ink, so he'll be able to do a little bit. But look at that wide board on Alex Hansen's side.
Yeah, and Steele is very, very famous for having issues with board wipes. However, he did accidentally show a card while he was altering
Mm-hmm.
that we all saw, and I think Alex saw because they were giggling. Was grab your sword, but even in this case, this is not a hyper aggro deck. These are meatier. There's some meat on these Steel Song card bones, especially with a Rhino, which has resist 2 when shifted. So even that answer is a lot harder. So that's one of the things that can make Steel. The downside is spot removal challenging. You have to work really hard to earn every piece of removal.
Can we trademark card bones? Because I liked that.
There's a lot of meat on the card bone.
Literally a lot of meat on the card bone there.
But yeah, and one of the things I think they were afraid of, Alex was afraid of, is that space pirate, because space pirate is kind of the enemy of Steel Song. He says you're not gonna sing, but we do see that wheeled right into, or worlded into, Bronson's hand.
Well, here we are back over to Alex. A lot of songs there, a lot of singers, and one more here with Ariel Spectacular Singer coming down. We're going to look for another song. I see another wheel there, but we're not going to take it. It's the shiny Enchanted. Along Came Zeus. I believe that card art, correct me if I'm wrong, is done by Leonardo Giamichele. Fun fact about him, he is the most prolific artist in Lorcana with over, I think, 60 cards at this point, at one point responsible for illustrating over 5% of Lorcana's cards. So there we go.
He just inked World's Greatest Criminal Mind. Whereas I'm like, what would be really bad? A space pirate, and then he inked, and so I'm hoping he has 2. But I hated to gasp, as that's a very delightful fact, because the people who draw multiple cards, I'm like, that is very exciting. But now I'm like, please don't space pirate after inking that. But if you board this wide, do you care? Is a rhetorical question, but I don't know. I care a little.
Sorry, I was.
You're in the zone of counting how many.
I was in the zone of counting.
To be fair, I did see you were very close to going. How many cards we? This has to be, because I do get to the point sometimes where I look at my opponent's board and I go, that has to be 10. I can't count that high, but I mean, we got here 1, 2.
It's a lot.
Yeah, 3,
That's
4,
12,
5,
I believe.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then there's lots of shift targets here. And that's the thing that's kind of crazy about this deck is you don't know. Some people put in a little Cinderella Set Hearted as a treat. Some people put in a little Aerial Sonic Warrior as a treat. So even if we get this dreaded Pete that I'm like, no, you don't have World's Greatest Criminal Mind, you got to do more than just have a Pete right now. So he doesn't do it. He says, I got bigger problems right now.
Oh, my goodness. That hand is stormy.
Oh, my goodness.
Just a storm raging in that hand, on and on and on.
Yeah.
Within Along Came Zeus to boot.
Yeah, it says Forbidden Mountain, but that is a maelstrom storm there.
Yeah, so I love Bronson here playing this Pete saying, you can't do anything on your turn if you don't draw anything. You literally can't play
he might
any
keep it
card
there.
from your hand.
Yeah.
Just set it over there. Based on what you draw, maybe you can do something.
Yeah, he says, I'm not picking it up. My hands are tired. I've been holding cards all day. So he does have to do some challenging. Obviously, there is bigger problems than others. Obviously, the Rhino, not obviously, but as we've talked about a few times today, has that resist 2, which makes the math super frustrating. And there goes that Pete Space Pirate down to the Inkwell, because I don't think we're going to get time to develop that plan.
I think I'm looking at it here. There may be the outs here are challenging because you have to remove 3 lore from the board, if I'm doing my math right here. So that Smee is probably one of the targets. So there it is, 2 damage with that Pete. We're going to damage that Smee, draw a card. Ursula, and now we need, I think, if I mathed it right, I think we need one other card off the board, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Nope, yeah.
Yeah, he says it doesn't work.
I think we're gonna scoop this up. Not quite enough to banish everything. So there it is.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, because I'm like thinking like, oh gosh, and that's sometimes the funny thing about Lorcana is I will be looking so doom and gloom about like, what about this one card? And it's like, hey Katie, he has like 20 characters over there. And can that one card really matter? And sometimes it does. There are cards that do some cool things, but there is not many cards that say get rid of 30 characters when this card comes into play. It's certainly not in that hand. So we do see them having a little light laugh, because my goodness, how do you not have? I'm somebody when I'm faced with perilous situations, go, that was kind of crazy. So yeah, on to game 2.
On to game 2.
Phoebe Bronson goes.
Yeah, Alex Hansen taking game 1 here in round 9. We will go to game 2. I don't know, Katie, about you, but I always say I don't root for any particular player when I'm broadcasting. It's not fair, but I do always root for a game 3.
I do.
So hopefully we'll get to see both decks shine here. I'd love to see BB Brunson's deck do what it was meant to do. Kind of a not an amazing start for him in that game.
Exactly,
But
because I mean, both these people built a deck saying, "Well, I want to do." I mean, I've always, Colors Law always says, "Do the thing," and I mean, yeah, you want to see the cards do the thing that they're put together to do, and sometimes you just get on that moment where you're on the defense the whole time that you barely are surviving, and in this case, Alex went all the way to 20, pretty efficiently there. So now let's see what kind of flavor of discard we got in there. Are there any surprises? Anything that makes us go, "Oh, I see you have this." Uh, we we did see that swords, which, as we mentioned, it's good in some cases. It's gonna be hard. Now singing swords twice, you can't. So never mind.
yeah,
I got myself there. I'm like, that'd be nice. It would be nice, but that's Ursula cannot sing that song twice. Oh, and there we go. There's some spice. Isn't that? No, I thought that was Sonic Warrior.
no, I
Ugh.
didn't see that. I'm still here, there, and then
Ugh.
hypnotize.
Oh, we were looking at different hands.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
so
because I
I'm
think
looking over here.
okay,
You're looking
yeah.
over
I
there.
was like, I think that's Sonic Warrior, and I
That
think
is Sonic Warrior,
so there
the
is that,
enchanted
like,
version there.
little sneak that goes in there, and that's why I love shifting. Shifting is so fun because it basically you are playing 2 cards at once. You're playing the card it is and the card it could be, and
I like that line.
and, uh, and now we do see BB Bronson playing Morph. I think the card that I thought was Curse Morphle is the beautiful pink art behind that Ursula Deceiver ball. So there is, I mean, I think the more zigging and zagging that your deck can do is generally going to be more advantageous because basically your opponent's playing all the play lines possible, and then if you say, "But did you think about this one?" You could win.
That's true. Speaking of, there's it's random, but as rotation gets closer, I find myself looking at certain cards saying, I really hope this card sees a reprint. Sonic Warrior is one of those that I think is really fun, and I really hope it. I really hope we get it back. I know some people don't, but it's one that I'm cheering for.
There's someone in the chat right now going, "Well, I hate it," but
Yep, I'm tuning out right now.
I will say that during the D23 panel, they said that Aerial Sonic Warrior was scheduled to be in Chapter 1, and they said the kids aren't ready yet. So I
Yep.
just love to think about that they're like, you can't handle the Aerial Sonic Warrior until we earned her. And it turns out we really couldn't handle her until last set 7 and set 8. And then now we've been seeing her played more than ever.
Oh man, speaking of shiny cards, we're gonna see some really shiny cards here in a second. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that shiny Cinderella over there and an enchanted Robin Hood. There's all the bling here. I think that this deck might be entirely foiled on
You
Alex
have
Hansen's
to,
side.
right? At this point,
yeah.
right? If you have that many, I think you get to a point, a critical mass, where you're like, well, I guess I have to get it. And I will say, a fun little fact: if there is an enchanted version, sometimes the foils are a little bit cheaper. So that's one of my favorite things because people like Alex go, well, I can't get the non-enchanted version, and here we see enchanted Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, a Belle of the Ball since set 1 or 2.
Yeah, and great
Sorry.
job doing the hand check there. So one of the things, the lines available in Bronson's deck is that Diablo Shift in the early game.
Oh,
And Hypnotize being discarded here. We know what that means. There's the Diablo coming out. I was going to say, one of the things the Diablo hates to see is the Cinderella plus Let the Storm Rage on turns 1 and 2, shutting down that Diablo right away. So doing the check there, not seeing the Storm, unless I'm forgetting. I was so focused. I was blinded by the shine.
I know. That's one of the things is you're like, well, that's really pretty. But he says, let me check one more time. He's like, I have this one that's very shiny. You can't miss it. But there is some options down the line with 2 aerials at hand. So BB Bronson did not take down that Cinderella, but Cinderella, we got a song, but probably not the one he needed here with Find and Platinum, turning it into ink and playing Ursula Vanessa.
Yeah, getting that Diablo online is is a way to run away with victory with this deck. It has several draw engines. That unchecked Diablo, though, on turn 2 is one of the quickest ways to outvalue, your opponent and get the resources you need to close down the game. Ursula Deceiver into the Inkwell, followed by Deceiver of All.
Oh, now scary knowing there's an aerial coming. But this is the good news. He diversified his annoying cards.
That is true.
Yes.
You can answer one. You probably can't answer both.
You could.
You could.
Well, now it's getting
now,
closer. We
yeah,
see.
we just drew the Zeus there. That'll be able to be sung by the Vanessa to answer one of those threats. Spectacular Singer will come down, though. We'll see what we find first. Hoping to draw into some more removal. I think we got one there. There's Strength of
Oh.
Raging Fire. That last card
Was it
almost
Naveen,
whiffed.
I think. Was that an enchanted Naveen?
It was.
Oh,
It
goodness.
was.
So there we go.
there's 1-2, the 1-2 combo there. Unfortunately for Bronson, Alex able to answer everything, and there's just so much removal in these Steel Song decks. It's difficult to build up a board state.
Yeah, and I said, like, "Well, I mean, what are the chances?" And they top decked a song, and then Ariel says, "Well, I'm pretty good at getting songs," and we've seen her not. Ariel, she's like, "I'm a spectacular singer, but you can't make me sing all the time." In this case, she got a song, and now B. Bronson's going, "Hey, your deck, it's really pretty, but it's kind of mean."
That Ursula Deceiver now going to go into the cove, challenge into that Cinderella. I mean, so one of the ways back into this game, Alex does have that Ariel, which is going to find another song. But if you can put a little bit of hand pressure on here, it is a way to shut down Alex. But nothing there, no sudden chills, no hypnotizes, nothing to play. So back over to Alex Hansen, drawing into another Along Came Zeus. Zeus is...
Then go find more
And
songs.
then go find more songs. Look at all those enchanted cards there. I don't see one, though. We're going to send all 4 cards to the bottom, under the sea, as it were.
It seems fair, though, right? I think that sometimes, like, it's you good to stay humble. And I think, in this case, he says, "Listen, I had a lot of songs. I had a good run." And notably, A Whole New World, we talked about last time, like, do you do it, do you not? Well, when you have 2 cards in hands, it's a lot more tempting. So I do think that was a card he was hoping for. He doesn't need it. We're not in panic mode, but 2 Ariels and a Ursula Vanessa not going to win the game on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. Challenging into that Ursula there, who has an extra strength off that cove. And I believe we have a Robin Hood in hand now, which is too expensive to play. We could sing the Zeus to put some damage on the cove, but why
Keeps
at this
it.
point?
Yeah.
Save it. So back over to BB Bronson now. A little bit of breathing room. Alex with, whiffing on that Ariel doesn't have anything else
Yeah.
to develop the board really at the moment. So a little bit of breathing room. Let's see if he can get something out. That'll help a little bit. The muses now, you pair those with some songs, bounce characters back to board. But one of the last things you want to do is bounce those Ariels. So good card to get on the board. But, and a Beast Tragic Hero. A card that Alex is happy to see when you're low on cards, but doesn't have enough ink to play it. So Robin Hood going to go to the inkwell here, trying to build up towards 5 ink now.
Yeah, he's hesitating because it's kind of like, once you ink it, that's one of the rare places, unless you happen to be playing the Mufasa Sapphire card, which neither of them are. Once it goes in the inkwell, it's gone. So he does sadly put it in the inkwell and say, "I trust that something will work out here. I will get ink and I will play this beast. Don't worry." And he's still sitting on that Zeus, but he cannot target those muses, and the cove is not that bad on its own. And so probably better to just save that rather than fire it just for the sake of firing it.
Yeah, interesting, really interesting board state here. I mean, you have the muses, which bounce things. You don't want to bounce the Ariels. That'll find answers. And then even the Vanessa, like you could bounce the Vanessa, but Alex here struggling to get to the ink total he needs. Probably happy. There we're going to go put 2 damage.
Yeah, interesting. He does
onto
select the one that will
Ariel.
not get banished. So I'm wondering, what were you thinking here?
That leads me to believe he's got something in hand, perhaps, that could
Grab
deal
your
damage
sword.
across
I got
the
excited. I'm
board.
like, "Is it grab your sword?"
Yeah, I mean, you wonder why you don't do that. Interesting. So,
Okay, never mind. I got really excited, guys. I was like, "Is it happening?"
but it might. I mean, it's an interesting call there, though, right?
Yeah, because now they have 3 the Rapunzel. Maybe he said, "I'll give you 3 opportunities for the Rapunzel trap." It's interesting, but it does help the math later. If those arrows are exerted, suddenly these little weaker characters have a better shot at taking out one of the other ones. So we shall see.
I think Alex asking there, please do a better job indicating of where those are located. Bronson indicating that Diablo is in the cove, and the muses are outside the cove. So now thinking through some options. We did draw into a Smee. That is the 5th thing you could use to play the Beast if you'd like. And it's probably the play here, I'm thinking. Get that Beast on the board, try to recharge your hand a little bit. Unfortunately, so here's the math, though. I mean, you wanna play that Beast, but look at that grab your swords indicator there. Alex saying, I mean, I guess if you got it, you got it. This is really the play this turn. That Beast comes on the board. If grab your swords is the play, though, that'll put a damage on Beast and shut off that card draw. And then the last card in hand, singing Along Came Zeus, banishing that Diablo. Diablo, a little overkill, but got to get it off the board.
Yeah, he said, "You know what? To be fair, we did talk about this. If you have 1 card in hand and you're against a discard card, you can't ink it. You might as well play because it might be the last time you ever see it. And there is a chance there's a hypnotize something because the muses do. Sudden Chill would be a nice pairing with that as well. So that could be what he's playing around. And he's saying, "Did I get that one? That solitary card?
Was that maybe perhaps?" He smiled a little when that came out. Is that the ink he needed for the grab your sword?
A vintage
Grab your sword.
callback."
and kill the beast.
Yes.
That sword coming back all the way from set 1. And look how impactful it is. I mean, setting that up last turn with Let the Storm Rage on, it wipes the board except the beast, but it puts 2 damage on the beast, so now not drawing extra cards. Of course, that beast does get extra angry, but you know what that beast can do? It can sing the whole new world, you top deck, to recharge your hand.
Oh, man.
Alex now powering his way back into this game with a full grip of cards. He was down to nothing, but an angry beast.
Yeah, he says I was tragic and now I'm angry. These are my angry eyes in the words of Mr. Potato Head.
And it draws into the Rapunzel then, which he could use to heal the beast.
And
full grip of cards, all sorts of options.
And all sorts of ink, too. He hasn't inked yet this turn, and he's smiling.
And there's the Rapunzel.
Oh.
Perfect combo. That beast now back online, not so angry anymore. Tragic again, tragically staring over that balcony.
And a Pete, too. Just a nice, I mean, he can't play this turn, but we see he's got answers. Answers are back on the menu, boys.
Oh, my goodness. That top deck of that whole new world. Oh, man. I was excited about the grab your sword, and
then he said, let me show you why I'm not worried.
You know what? Whole new world, whole new hand, whole new game. Now, going into the latter part of game 2 here.
It's so tragic hero, tragic play. Because, I mean, gosh, we were saying, well, grab your sword. That'd be so cool. And he's like, it would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? And so we were waiting, and how sad that right after he did it, he said, you kind of helped me there a little bit, bud.
Yeah.
So I love it, but man, that is a lot to take in here.
It was the perfect. Oh man! Oh, what a turn! All right,
I know,
this
and
game's
it's hard. It's hard because I'm looking at BB Bronson. I'm like, I'm excited because Alex is feeling really good, but I think BB Bronson is saying, "Did that just happen? Can I call a judge? Is that allowed to have grab your to respond to my cool mastered tech card with just a spectacular value city play over here?"
So let's see how he responds. We are going to get a Diablo down. Bronson's going to take a look at all of the bright, shiny cards that Alex drew there. It is that, I don't know how many Zeuses have been played this game. I think probably all of them by the end of it.
Yes.
But we do have the removal. It's another beast. It's a Pete, a Lawrence, a bevy of options there.
Yeah, he's auditing too. He's saying, how many long game Zeuses have I played? Because it does feel like a lot. And yeah, he says, I'll just keep them. This is one of my favorite things when people just say, I'll keep them. Because you do know that sometimes after they do that, then they slap down the Ursula to say, do you have anything I want? You do. But in this case, it doesn't look like he's safe for now. And we see B. Bronson saying, what do I do? Because if you said, name all of Amber Steel Song's greatest hits, a lot of these cards would be on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see what BB Bronson drew to respond. I've been looking so much at the Steel Song hand. I haven't paid close attention to what Bronson drew.
Yeah, I mean, he has. It's not looking so. I mean, well, here we go. We exerted one for Diablo, and we're going to invest the rest here. Is it going to be? Oh,
sing a song.
Okay.
We'll sing Let the Storm Rage on. Put 2 damage on the beast to shut down that card draw.
Yeah, and
that'll activate the muses.
Yeah, which lets anything less than 2 strength, I believe.
Yes, that's true. So now, yes, 2 or less. So we are going to choose the hamster, getting that shift line off the board there. It does leave that 3 Singer Cinderella. And you don't want to send back the Rapunzel here. That'd be the worst decision.
Yeah. Yeah, do it again. But which is another card. But in this case, this is one of the more sinister things about traditional mid-range Amber Steel Song is there's so many problems that can become bigger problems. Between the shifting, the fact that he doesn't know with 100. He saw an Aerial Sonic Warrior at one point, or he might not have. We did. There could be a Stout-Hearted. That's the mad nature of this deck, is that any card could become a bigger problem. But he is able to do what we don't talk about, Bruno, on the Beast. And now we're going to do a little bit of die rolling to see which card. Oh, and it looks like they're doing a judge call here. So we might come back to the booth. We'll see how long it takes here. But the interaction is interesting because essentially the thing at hand here is we don't talk about Bruno sending Beast to the hand, and then I think they're just debating about when the bounce. It's tough to say exactly, but we will see here. Yeah, it might take a moment, but that's a difficult one. It's sequencing. And so we talk about in Morgana sequencing and the bag, and those two things go hand in hand. In other games we talk about, you'll hear the stack where it's about how cards are played, but in Lorcana it's different. It's about the bag. So how would you describe the bag to a player that hasn't played this game?
It's like every activation is a marble. You throw the marble in the bag and you can pull them out in any order that you choose. I think maybe I'm trying to diagnose what the problem might be here, and if I had to guess, you have to resolve a card fully when you resolve part of its effect, and so Bruno would have to resolve fully with the discard of the hand before the muses activate, I believe. You can't do the sequence where you return a card, use the muses, then discard a card, and I think they were trying to figure, that's my guess, what they were trying to figure out, but I'm not entirely
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, and that's the thing is in the booth we absolutely cannot hear what they're saying. I mean, we did hear the word judge because that's people are very good. That's one of my favorite parts of tournaments is the ambient judge. But they are rolling to go ahead and make a decision, and then we will move forward. And it is for who is going to be. We don't talk about Bruno'd, and it ends up being a Pete, which there is a lot of different options here. And then we will see the Muse trigger. Is that what was the issue? Okay.
Yep, it looks like, and then the muses will activate and send that Rapunzel back. Let's see if we get a, nope, the Diablo's played this turn, so that's it.
Yeah.
That's
But
all we'll see.
pretty powerful there. I mean, we were able to go ahead get that. Now the beast, he survives. He's just in the hand, but the power there was I think that would be a tempo play, making sure that all that value that you got is gone. And as far as that Rapunzel trap, the Cinderella can only carry 1 damage, so it's a little less scary.
Yeah, and interesting. I think BB Ronson last turn, trying to think through the sequence of the turn. It changes way midway through. Damage being put on the beast before it was banished. That Cinderella being a viable target, I believe. So, interesting sequence there.
Yes.
Beast being sent back. We have another shiny Cinderella,
Mm.
and then Power Hamster. So Alex going wide here. Again, getting that beast back on the board to get that card draw out, and that Cinderella left up will sing Strength of Raging Fire on the Diablo.
Yeah, and he has my favorite thing where you say you've heard about Beast 1, but have you heard about Beast 2, his twin brother? So now Alex has some pretty valuable cards right now. I mean, between the Rapunzel, which luckily or unluckily, it depends which way you're looking at it. BB Bronson is not eager to turn those muses sideways. Now we do have a Zeus, which could put some damage on a hamster if it was shifted, or maybe the beast you're feeling crazy and you don't need cards anymore. So he has options basically at this point. And I'm looking at P. Bronson hand. He's probably very desperate to use a sudden chill to try to get as much value to just get rid of these cards that Alex keeps using to really frustrate his plan here.
Yeah, no, let's see. I missed it. Does he have a Zeus in hand?
So Alex has a Zeus in hand, but we have that sudden
Does
chill, and so
Bronson have one?
oh yeah, Bronson. That one's hard.
Oh,
Bronson's
okay.
hand's a little harder to see. We see moments of it, flashes. But
So
Pete, I think it is Space Pirate Pete.
th-
Just irrelevant here, but well, so
3 good cards here. That beast is going to go for now, protecting that Rapunzel. Those muses now, vulnerable to a challenge. Muses activating, sending Rhino 1/16th Wolf back. Pete now coming into play for full cost, and we will move Pete over to the Hidden Cove.
making him enormous. That will he is a 5/5 with resist, and then it does make it where your characters cannot exert to sing songs. And then now he also is in the cove, giving him offense and defense of +1, I believe.
Yeah, and
Strength and
so
willpower here.
you talked about those muses turning sideways before. BB Bronson's been using those to sing quite a bit. The muses, excellent singers, and getting some effect out of it. So they did turn sideways here. So BB Bronson will be able to challenge in.
And yeah,
Put
there
2
we go.
damage on the muses.
I
3
said
damage on the
he would
muses.
never do such a thing.
And then draw 2 cards off that Rapunzel.
Yeah, and I think if they're in the cove, then was he able to draw? Okay, there we go. Yes,
They were not in the cove.
got it. 'Cause I was like, no.
time.
Yeah, so then don't only 2 cards, but those 2 cards are a Robin Hood, the beloved outlaw, the 1 cost shift target, and then a Let the Storm Rage On, which only deals 1 damage here.
So interestingly, I think Pete's resist is only activated when he is exerted.
Oh,
So if he's upright, and we'll get the card in the viewer again, but if he's upright, he does not get that resist 2. So just 1/2 combo there with Zeus and the Storm. Yep, resist 1, not an effect when he's ready. So can't make it take advantage of that there, which means Alex is able to finish him off with a couple songs.
which I feel so sad. As we were trying to figure out how much damage the first one would get, he's like, "What about 5 more?" And then
Yep.
So we're like, not only did he not have resist because he wasn't exerted, but he was Zeus.
Yep.
Zeus, the MVP of this game.
Yeah, and Space Pirate is a great counter to this deck that loves to sing songs, and that resist works around the damage-based removal. But BB Bronson just not enough time to exert it and turn it on completely. So empty board now. Alex with that card draw from the Beast and several singers on board. No lore, but well in control of the board state, unfortunately, for BB
Yeah.
Bronson.
Yeah, I mean, this has shown that discard, people will say it's so scary, it's terrible, and it is. But most decks are going to have some way to draw a card. We have card advantage, card disadvantage, and unfortunately, Alex has won the card advantage war much faster. The BB Bronson has won the discard war. But we will get a beast online because that is a powerful tool. We've seen it been used in multiple ways, carry damage for Rapunzel, but also drawing the card. But man, Alex's hand is looking very, very, very nice for somebody this late in the game.
Yeah, and I think he did draw into a whole new world here for the first time this game again. But if I saw correctly, there's that Sonic Warrior, though, that we talked about earlier. This song will do with a little extra ink. This song does damage whenever you play a song, and this song deck has many of them. So it's a card that has been in and out of the meta, but always somebody cheekily teching it in at these
Yes.
tournaments. And so here, the whole new world is going to be sung by Beast Tragic Hero, fantastic singer, Beast, underrated, I think. And
Yes.
we'll sing here, give both players 7 new cards. Now we do have extra ink for Sonic Warrior there to do a little damage of her own, shutting down BB Bronson's Beast if that's the route that Alex chooses to go. And that's what he will do, blasting Beast there for 2, shutting down that card draw, and then finishing it off by
Oh my
singing
goodness.
Let the Storm Rage On there.
Yeah, and we've seen this aerial Sonic Warrior really find a wonderful home in the meta because there's most songs we've ever had in the game. The versatility of it, the fact that you can shift it, the fact that you don't have to shift it, the fact she can carry a lot of damage, and then the fact that for 2 ink you get call back to set 1, a smash, which is that cost where you can deal 3 damage. That's just built in, and you only have to pay 2 ink once you sing a song, and usually those songs is already a removal song. So it's a really, really fun card that I'm really glad has found a home. It used to be one where you'd only have 1 or 2, but I mean, as we've seen with Sky, who was featured earlier in the day and is one of the bounty players, he, I believe, is running, I mean, I don't know how many, he was running 3, I believe, last weekend because of how versatile it can be. And it's sinkable, which is always the best kind of tech card. But what's going on BB
Well,
Bronson's
it is a
sides?
great combo here. So we get Ursula Deceiver down, which is must-answer card. So Alex would love to remove it with some songs, but unfortunately, he can't because Pete Games referee says you can't play any songs. Answering, though, on Alex's side of the board, he plays a Pete of his own. If you're going to play the Deceiver of All and you're going to stop me from removing her, I'm going to stop you from using her on your turn, followed up by a Power Hamster and an Ursula Vanessa. So going wide again here, BB Bronson set up a combo, which I thought would bring him back in this game, but Alex immediately answers. And this is just going back and forth. It's interesting because this entire game, I've felt from the mid-game onward that Alex has a really solid control of the board here with all of the answers in hand, but not pushing his lore much at all. So BB Bronson constantly trying to pick away and try to stay in this game. Alex just hasn't managed to completely shut the door just yet.
Yeah, and I hate to say, this deck takes patience because I mean, honestly, a lot of them do. Now he chooses to only quest here with just 1 Rapunzel, and it makes sense because that Sonic Warrior is very, very valuable because to use later, and then that Beast, if he gets damage, is going to lose that ability to draw an extra card. So we'll go ahead
Oh,
and shift on our
yes.
own.
Yes, and Pete Space Pirate coming in shifty. Do you know what that means? That means you can immediately use him. He has resist 1, which is the perfect amount to avoid any damage from that Rapunzel. Challenging in there, making maximum use of that, the ability to exert there. And now we see Space Pirate Pete's effect, in play here. So no characters can exert to sing songs, or rather opposing characters can exert to sing songs, and Pete Space Pirate does have resist 1. Now, Alex has plenty of removal in his hand. He wants to use that on the Beast. He wants to use that on the Ursula. He can play songs for full cost, so it doesn't shut down actions like Pete does, but he's going to have to navigate around this ability just a little bit, and removing Pete becomes annoying with
Yes.
that resist 1.
Yeah, it's annoying, not impossible, but a lot more expensive, I would say. Especially you got that hamster. He does have. I feel so bad all day. I've called him that hamster. You can
That
tell.
hamster.
Oh, that hamster and that ball. Rhino can roll on over and deal some damage, but unfortunately, that even with resist is going to be bad here because Pete will hit back for 5 when he has 2 resist and 3 willpower. So that's a pretty rough one to make. So yeah, it's a difficult choice. He has to make a very expensive choice to say, if I want to sing songs, I got to deal with Pete. If I want to deal with Pete, I'm gonna have to invest some of my characters to do some damage.
And one of those characters you can use is that Ariel there. She has quite a bit of willpower on her, and so there she will challenge in, take a whole lot of damage, followed
6.
by the Rapunzel, which will heal 3 to draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have an if you're gonna leave an exerted
Yeah.
character over there that does a whole lot of damage, you might as well take advantage of it. And now, that's 4 ink gone. I think we can still ink for turn, and so 5 ink to work with. Plenty of singers. Let's see how the sequencing is here. There's so many characters on board. That Strength of Raging Fire is so strong.
It's a very strong fire.
With all the
Yeah.
strength of a great typhoon
Yes.
coming down.
The sequel is what we have
on
here.
top of Pete Space Pirate. Getting him
Oh.
off the board, and then we're going to put 2 damage onto the beast to shut down
Yes.
that card draw. Do we have enough to get rid of the Ursula here? We do. Are we gonna invest the characters to do it? Looks like we are.
Now, one thing I wonder is because obviously Pete, when he's exerted, you can't exert to sing song. Well, the ability it doesn't exert. So never mind. That 2 damage is just built into the aerial. So I was thinking like back, but nope. That's the synergy here. So now we've got this beast with 4 damage, and I'm sure there's something else coming. We're gonna go ahead. We hit with the string or storm, and yeah, just throw some more in there. It's difficult, right? At this point, Alex has so many different options of what he can do in this beautiful board that BB Bronson spent a lot of time on. He had a cove. He had 3 very, very menacing characters, and Alex said, "These cards I put together for a reason," and that is a lot of value. And it's hard because BB Bronson has been really every turn building back up, saying, "Okay, I can come back from this." But it's going to be hard because even this discard, we see a sudden chill, and I think we saw it beyond the horizon. If without a Prince John, that's a little less exciting, and we haven't even seen him this
We
game.
have not seen Prince John. I assume BB Bronson's running him, but we don't know for sure. Because if there's a way back in, it is to accumulate the ink to Beyond the Horizon will help. I mean, Alex has been kind of curating his hand. He's got quite a few options there. Going to force Alex to discard and draw 3 cards. BB Bronson will discard as well. Now, BB Bronson doesn't have to choose to make Alex discard those and draw 3, but you may as well 5 cards down to 3. He did draw into another Whole New World there, as well as a World's Greatest Criminal Mind and a Smee, I believe. And on the other side, the Diablo. We're going to drop that down. Hope to turn that on in a turn or 2. Hope that Alex didn't draw into any removal. And he didn't, but that Whole New World may as well be removal.
It's crazy.
Because
yeah.
Yeah.
Logically, I know there's 4 of each removal song, but it does feel like in this match, Alex has infinite strengths, infinite storms. And in this case, he goes ahead and, okay, how did he pump up that Diablo?
So, World's Greatest Criminal Mind, I believe he then would have sang it and used the aerial. So I was trying to see if he used, because he sang it and then he used the 2 ink
used
from
it
the
on
aerial.
nothing. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. And
the
that's
aerial to blast the Diablo.
And that is something that's very important about Disney Lorcana is some cards do not have to have target. For example, you can sing Storm, let the Storm Rage onto an empty board. Now, if there's a target available, you will have to. So you have to read the card, know the interactions. But in this case, he knows very well. It says banish this. He can't do it, but it doesn't matter. The song was sang. And in this case, that is the widest board. It has the second row. It has the front row and the back row. So Alex is probably, he was 6-2. Now he is 8-2. And I don't know if he'll make it into the top 16. We shall see. But I would feel very good leaving today after making this deck show that, guess what? Mid-range Amber Steel song, it never went anywhere.
Steel Song is here. Aerial Spectacular, or Aerial Sonic Warrior is still here for now.
For now.
Doing some work. And what a shiny deck.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yes. Shout out to people who have the most shiny, beautiful decks, because I do think it is something once you start doing it, you're like, wow, I got to see it through. Because if you only have one, and then you think you should get that insured. Is there insurance? You have collectible cards. Is there? Because I know there's jewelry insurance. So we gotta maybe that'll be my next business venture is insure your enchanteds today. Because we saw Habibi playing yesterday. He's another one. His deck, you're just like, I can't see